What's up, guys? So, there's just so much that I want to get to and talk to you guys about, but no one's really listening to long form videos or doing all that stuff. So, I decided to just put little clips together and just kind of this one starting with like, what level are you at? Because we are all here having this experience and we're all at different levels. So, let's understand these levels.
Not all humans are operating at the same level of reality. Most people will live and die on level 1, never knowing the others existed.
Wait, there are levels? Like a video game?
Exactly like a video game, except nobody told you there were levels, and the system was designed to keep you on the first one forever. Level 1, you live inside the system completely. You work, you consume. You believe what you're told, you don't question it, you're not unhappy, you're just asleep.
Ah yes, the tutorial level. Permanent residence for most of humanity. Respectable.
Okay.
So that's the first one. And that's where I was for a very long time, up until my 30s. And that's where a lot of people are. But we'll go a little higher.
Hey, but how do you even know you're on level 1?
You don't, that's the point. Level 2 starts when something stops fitting. The routine feels wrong, the news feels scripted. Repetition starts to bother you, but you can't explain why. You just feel it.
That feeling when you're watching the news and your brain goes, wait, this doesn't add up, but you ignore it and watch Netflix instead. That's level 2 knocking.
I've had that feeling.
That's level 2 knocking. And that's what it feels like. You know, you're like, hold on, this doesn't, what are we doing here? Like, what are we chasing? What are we working towards? What is this all about? And then you're like, doesn't make any sense. And then you ask questions, they're like, just go to bed, go do something else, get out of here, you know, go distract yourself, get a hobby. And so you don't know what to do or how to fight back. So you're like, well, then I'll try to go back into it and pretend to be happy. Everybody else seems to look like they're semi-happy and doing okay. So what's wrong with me, right? But we need to go higher.
I thought something was wrong with me.
Nothing is wrong with you. Something is right with you. Level 3. You start questioning everything. Religion, politics, science. The people around you call you crazy. That's not a sign you're wrong. That's a sign you're moving.
What's level 4?
You see the architecture of the
So level 3, you start questioning everything. I think a lot of people are getting to that level right there, questioning everything. And you also got to realize if you question everything in front of people that aren't at level 2, 1 or 2, they're going to look at you crazy. And they're going to look at you so crazy in a way that you're like, I didn't really mean that. So it's kind of one of those things that, yeah, you just have to trust that you're waking up. And that is that you wanted to.
manipulation. How fear controls decisions. How food affects consciousness. How music programs thought. How
Oh my gosh, that's so huge. Once you start realizing that fasting, getting all this crap out of our body starts to help our mind, because we're like, oh, I understand this, but why am I still struggling so much? It's like, oh, because I'm still consuming the way that you used to.
media manufactures reality. The system becomes visible, transparent.
Ah, so that's what this channel is. A level 4 distribution service. Makes sense.
Level 5 is where most people who reach 4 get stuck. You stop blaming the systems. You turn inward. You realize you've been co-creating your own reality the entire time.
Wait, so you're saying we're not just victims of the system, we're participants?
Active ones. Every time you felt fear, you voted for their realities. Every time you repeated the negative thought, you built with it. That's uncomfortable. Most people retreat back to 4 and just stay angry at the system forever.
That's actually harder to accept than the conspiracy.
Always is. Level 6. You understand that thoughts aren't just thoughts. They're frequencies, instructions. The brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. What you focus on, you literally build more of, neurologically, physically, in your actual life.
So the person who wakes up every day expecting things to go wrong is literally constructing a reality where things go wrong. That's not pessimism. That's architecture LMAO.
And nobody teaches you this.
Because a person who understands this doesn't need the system to tell them what to think, what to fear, what to want. They become the source, and that person is ungovernable.
And level 7?
Watch a 3-year-old. They wake up and the day is already enough. No news, no validation, just presence. That's not just innocence. That's level 7. We were born there. Then the system taught us to need things outside ourselves to feel okay. And gratitude, real gratitude, is just remembering what you already were, before all of it. The moment that lands, the entire architecture of control collapses, because they built the whole thing on one assumption, that you'd never stop looking outside for the answer.
So we were born at level 7 and spent our entire lives being systematically downgraded. Outstanding onboarding process, honestly.
So the whole journey is just going back to where we started.
Except now you see the whole map, and you can't be put back to sleep. They built a cage from the outside. The lock was always on the inside, and you...
So I thought that explained it really well, you know, and I think I kind of oscillate between level 4 and level 6 because there's some times that I'm just angry at the system, at the lies, at the deception. And then there's where it's like, okay, well, what am I going to be mad about? Like, why? How does me being mad help anybody else out there? How does it help myself? How does it help my family? It's just keeping me in a low vibration. So then you start to realize, okay, well, what can I do to start changing this around? And then you realize, oh, well, I need to get in control of my emotions. I need to get in control of my thoughts. I need to get in control of my field and my energy and what I'm putting my energy into. And it's a whole thing, because once you start worrying about waking yourself up and understanding your perspective of why your soul wanted to come here, then you're aware of the deceptions and the lies out there, but they're not consuming you and making you go crazy. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people on all kinds of different levels, and nobody's wrong for being on any level. You know, I look at level 7, what do you say? Like a 3-year-old just wakes up with that curiosity, that natural curiosity, the wonder of a child. It doesn't need any validation. It's ready to go. And we have been in this system for so long that to even get back to that level seems almost impossible. But if you work at it, and you work on the perspective, you can change and you can shift where you can actually bring a heaven to earth in your own reality. And that's hard to do. It's hard to do, especially if you are got to go to work and do all the normal stuff, because they keep you just perfectly detached from ever starting it. But leave what level you're on. I'd be curious to know what level you think you're on. And yeah, don't tell anybody they're on level 1, right? Because I think that's what we do. We're like, oh shit, we're a soul? Hold on. And we live forever, and we make it back to the other side, and it's great, and we came here, and this is an experience? Oh my gosh, I need to go tell my friend. And they're like, and then they judge you, and you need them to validate what you're telling them is true, but they're not ready to wake up. They haven't seen it yet. They might not see it. They might wake up. But once you realize it doesn't matter if they wake up or not, they're going to make it back to the other side, even if they're hardcore atheists and they're like, there's no God, there's no nothing, there's no blah, 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 or the other side. It's like, okay, cool. You want to catch the game later? But then you start to see these distractions. So it is kind of like you have to go into a character. You almost have to go into a character where you have created this image of who you have always been. And though you've never really felt like that's truly who you are, it's who they see you as. So I'm giving you now permission to go keep playing that role. Don't tell anybody that you've realized the other side, the truth of what we are. You're going to drop a bombshell on them. Man, some of you guys might have really, really close friends that would be interested in hearing it. I'm not saying keep it from them, but I'm saying for you to keep this momentum going, I wouldn't try to wake anybody else up. They will wake up on their own time. You need to get in control of yourself, because at some point you'll be able to help answer questions, or they'll be like, hey, do you know we're a soul? I'll be like, yeah, I've known we were a soul for a while now. Really? You know that there's another side and we live forever? Yeah, I knew that too. What? Why didn't you tell me? Well, you were preaching on about this really good guy that got nailed to a cross pretty adamantly that you didn't really want to hear anything. So that's the nice thing, is that if someone's willing and wanting to understand the truth, you can share it with them. But if they are not at that point to receive the truth, then you can just go on remaining friends with them. You guys didn't talk about that anyway. So why is it now that you know this, you can't just coexist the same way you used to, whether you're coworkers or whether you're old friends? So that's the thing. It's like a lot of people like, oh, I have this new realization and I got to share it with everybody. And yeah, I mean, I think you should stand up and share it, but you're not doing it for validation. The more you share doesn't get you anything extra on the other side. You get your power back no matter what. So now, if you're trying to genuinely, authentically try to help someone, well, that's a whole different story. But don't let their receptivity, equal how you feel about what's going on, right? Because a lot of times in the beginning, it's like, well, man, what if we're wrong? What if this isn't right? And it's like, there's enough near-death experienced people that aren't related to Darius, and enough Darius testimonials of real people talking about this, that like if you can't find the genuine authenticity within most of those stories, well then I don't know what to tell you. I was lucky enough to have my own personal experience that basically I was able to taste what it was like to be my soul. Like I had knowledge, I had power, it was the most intoxicating week and a half that I've ever had in my entire life. At the same time, it destroyed my entire human existence, the person I thought I was, and it ripped the floor out, put me back on track, left me with a horrible situation that I had to clean up, and an amazing experience that I would never have changed in a million years because of what it felt like to live from my soul's perspective. And it was still limited. It wasn't completely full blown. I didn't even understand it at the time. I thought I was sharing consciousness with an angel. So that's the reason why I've started even putting all these things out, is like I'm ready to help bring everybody together. Like, hey, I know we're all a little different. I know we're all a little different and have different beliefs and come from different things, but we are all connected and we keep our individuality. That's the coolest part. And once you realize that the core of who you are remains, the only thing that leaves is these fears of pressures and social normalizations and expectations. Oh my gosh, once the pressure leaves and the fear leaves, you realize, oh, I was doing that because I wanted approval from him, or I did this because of that. And it's like, oh, well, crap. Yeah. I was being the version that everybody accepted. It was the acceptable version. It wasn't exactly who I was, but it got the opposite sex, it got friends, it got validation, it got applause, so I stuck with it. And then you realize, hold on, that was me chasing the world that they told me was supposed to get me to that place of fulfillment. And now we're at that place where we're like, that fulfillment's not going to ever come chasing any of those distractions. So what do we have to do? We have to find our authentic path. And that's what I'm going to start working on, trying to create more content, is like finding our authentic path to walk in alignment. Because the closer you walk in alignment, the more fulfilled you feel, the more energy, the vibration, the feeling, the oomph for life, the depression, the brain fog, it all leaves. But to get in alignment means you have to get serious about talking to your soul about what your soul wants and understand where the soul came from. And you're going to probably slowly get rid of some of those old things that used to serve you, that you used to identify as being a part of who you are, but now they're going to leave. They're going to come into your consciousness and say, hey, I need to stop doing that. And you're going to be like, I don't know, man. I've been doing this for a long time. And you're like, well, we need to stop it, because you need to get to the point where you believe in you and not this crutch, this thing that you rely on. And you're going to go through a couple days where you're like, all right, I'll kick it. Good, I'm totally good. And then it's like you get tired, you get frustrated, something bigger happens in life, and you run back to it. And it's like a yo-yo effect. And it keeps going back. It's like a boom, boom, and then before it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and before, no more drinking. No more smoking, no more pills, no more shopping, no more phone, no more Facebook, no more distractions, no more gambling, no more porn, no more anything. But it doesn't all happen right at once, because that doesn't seem very fun. Okay, soul, so you're taking away every pleasure that I've ever had out of my life. And it's like, well, kind of. One at a time, though. Like, we're going to knock these out as they become necessary once you start to realize yourself. And then you have to get to the point where you've watched enough Darius information to understand, okay, this is an experience to experience what we are not on the other side. So just breaking that down is absolutely huge. Not experience what we are not on the other side. Well, this is tough. This is limitation. This is pain. This is we are contained, man. And it's like the other side, that means everything's perfect. That means everything is abundant. Everything is perfect. And it's like, that sounds great. Let's get back to that. But like I've said before, have you ever played a video game and got the cheat code? The beginning, once you have the cheat code, it's the most amazing playing that game, because you remember the pain you went through, the frustration, the levels, the extra lives. But now that you have this cheat code, the game just got boring. So think about it in terms like that we are playing this game without the cheat code. And the appreciation we're going to get back on the other side for the abilities, the power, and the freedom that we gain. Because most of us think that you're just going to get sorted into something else. Like, most people don't even realize that they're going to get their powers back, and they're going to get their abilities back and their divinity back. And then you could even argue that you have it here now in limitation, but we're not even going to hit that at the moment. But a lot of people are getting to that point where they're going to realize that, my gosh. So then it's like, well, to break up the monotony of eternity, we decided to come in here and have this experience that collects 80 to 100 years of experiences through all different sorts of decades. And you have those forever to recreate from, to revisit, to connect with other people, the whole thing. And that life only took a blink of an eye. Once you get back, it's going to feel like you just left. Like that was that. But you're going to have every memory, every detail. You're going to be able to go re-experience it, relive it. So, but we got to get to that level of waking up. And once you wake up and you realize that you live forever and that you don't have to fear death, that helps for a while. You know, it gives you kind of like that bounce in your step, and you're like, all right, cool. But then you get sucked back into the heaviness of living here on Earth, and you're like, well, we can't just leave. We got to actively participate and live. How do you do that? How do we do that? And that's what we're trying to do, is trying to keep that image of who you pretended to be out there while you are trying to find your authentic self, and slowly you will merge them and you will just be who you are. And it's always changing. It's getting better. You know, it's like no one's the same person that they were 10 years ago. Whether they want to think they are or they're not, they're a little different. So anyway, that's me just rambling. Talk to you later, guys.